Hi, welcome to the Monday Meditations. My name is Steph Skupin, and I work with people who are looking for more space in their world and more personal freedom amidst the challenges of busy lives and often challenging careers. And one of the tools that I'm using to help people is meditation and mindfulness. So right now, this is a series of meditations, going beyond the I, going beyond the idea of who we are in the world, the identified sense of being that keeps us attached to the stories of the world, and those are the stories that create suffering. And one of the ways we make sense of who we are in this world is through stories, like the movies and books, adventure stories, hero stories, and also creation stories. So today, what I want to share with you is a Hindu creation story. In the beginning, there was the water. There was an endless sea and nothing else. And after millions and millions of years, the air separated from the water. And then light was lighter in the air and darker in the water. And after another very long time, Brahma opened his eyes, floating on the water. He was floating on a leaf, and he found that he had a body, and eyes, and a mouth. And for a very, very long time, he just floated on the leaf, delighted in seeing, floating, being Brahma. And eventually the notion aroused in him that he was lonely. So he created his children. And the children delighted in being Brahma's children. And they created children in their turn. And soon the leaf became too crowded and the children fought. So Brahma created the world for his children, and they left. This is many years ago. All Brahma's children have left for the world, and they have forgotten their father. And so once more he was lonely, and so he followed them into the world. But his children are so occupied with the affairs of the world that they cannot recognize their father anymore. Yet, in infinite love, he still creates the world for them every moment. The world is nothing without its creator, Brahma. It would not be without its creator, Brahma. And even though we do not see him, he is everywhere in the world. All we see are the pieces of his creation. And Brahma is the space in between. Being exists before form. And just like thinking, creation is not a conscious process. Even though we would like to think so, creation is a happening. Just like thinking happens. I don't decide to think. Mind is so much faster than anything we can imagine, so much faster than identity. Identity, this I thinks it can rule and control. But in order to understand the true nature of being, that nature of being that is connected to everything in the world, we have to travel beyond this identity, this separate I. Byron Katie says that I is the original stressful thought. And when we get still, when we really get still with the forms of this world, that's when we start to see glimpses of the life of the being before we have named it. We are Brahma's children, and just like his children in the story, we lose the awareness of our original being. We lose ourselves in the affairs of the world. We try to find our sense, the sense of being in our life purpose, in possessions, and in the stories that we tell ourselves of desires and divisions. And we pine because we have lost the connection with our source. And in this story, Brahma stands for the source of our being. And that source can be whatever God is, the God of your denomination, the God of your belief system, or maybe it is just consciousness. And when we get really still, we can connect to that original awareness again. And in that stillness, the space that is Brahma expands because our awareness of it expands. So let's get ready to meditate. The invitation is to sit comfortably and easily and to close your eyes. Have your chest upright and your shoulders back so that the air, the breath can flow freely and easily. And so to begin with, just become aware of the breath. Notice your rhythm of breath. And without trying to influence, just allow your breath to flow as it wants to right now. And then bring your awareness to the sensation of the breath. Notice the sensation of the air flowing into the nostrils, down the throat, expanding the chest. And the collapse of the chest and the air coming back out. Notice the quality of the air, the temperature, moisture. With your next in-breath, follow the sensation, the trail of the sensation further down into the body. Notice the expansion of the abdomen as you breathe. And then notice the inner sensation of the legs and the feet. And become aware of the feet touching the ground, or the surface that you're sitting on. And become aware of the toes, the soles, and the span, the ankle. Notice the feeling of aliveness in and around the feet. And become aware of the lower legs. See if you can distinguish the sensation of bones, muscle, skin. Become aware of the knees, thighs, the hips and buttocks, the area of the genitals. Becoming aware of the lower abdomen. And the area of the stomach and the liver just below the rib cage. And again, notice the sensation of the inner body, and then the wall of the body and the skin. If you feel any tension or pain, you can gently bring your attention to it and see if that allows it to let it go, or just allow it to be there for now. Become aware once more of the chest. Again, scanning the inner body, area of the heart. Maybe you can feel the heartbeat. The bones and the muscles and the skin, the lungs. Becoming aware of the shoulders. We often carry tension in the shoulders, the arms and the hands, the fingers. Becoming aware of the spine, the length of the spine all the way from the sits bones to the base of the skull. Becoming aware of the throat. And the face. Allowing yourself to explore the different parts of the face, the forehead, the eyes. Maybe you can even feel the eyeballs inside the eye sockets. Once again, becoming aware of the nose, the tip of the nose, the mouth, the muscles of the jaw, the teeth, and the tongue. Becoming aware of the area of the ears, sides of the head, the top and the back of the head, and gently sensing if you can feel the sensations of the brain. Allow yourself to feel the whole body, the whole body. Bring the attention back to the breath. Notice that the breath has 4 phases. There is inhalation, and then there is a pause of no movement. And then comes the exhalation, and there is another small pause. And in that pause, we have the opportunity to become aware of stillness. So just pay attention to this pause at the end of the inhalation. And again at the end of the exhalation, without trying to hold the breath, just noticing, just bringing attention to this moment of stillness. And if your attention wanders, just gently bring it back to the breath. Your body is made out of so many different parts, and the basic building blocks of it are the cells. And the cells are made up of carbohydrates, amino acids, minerals, water. And the basic building blocks of all of these are atoms. Atoms with a nucleus and electrons traveling around a magnetic field around this nucleus, and with a lot of space in between. And it is the movement of these electrons around the nucleus of the atom that create an illusion of solidity. They create solidity to our senses that appear as solidity to our senses. But the electrons and the nucleus themselves are minute in a lot of space. And if we go smaller into the nucleus, it is made up once again of smaller particles that move and create this appearance of a unit. But the particles are even smaller and move around in vast amount of space. And so as we go into smaller and smaller particles, we come to the place where particles exist as waveform and particle within space. Photography that captures these minute building blocks of our existence look almost like a space with the stars. space around the universe, around the earth, with vast, vast distances of emptiness. And the stars. So whether you go inside, deep inside, or whether you go far outside of yourself, you will encounter space. That is what you end up with, is infinite space. And this is the truth of your being, of the source of your being, is consciousness in space. Consciousness that is creating space. As your consciousness can envision, embody, embrace these vast amounts of inner and outer space, this is where we are connected to each other and to the world. In this consciousness, we are one with Brahma. Once again, take a deep breath in and become aware of the body. Become aware of the feet and the legs, and the hips and buttocks. Become aware of the abdomen and chest and spine, shoulders, arms and hands. The throat and the face and the head. Becoming aware of the whole body. Whole body. Embodying this consciousness. And become aware of the surface or the chair you're sitting on. And become aware of your surroundings, the room you're in. And when you're ready, in your own time, gently open the eyes again. Thank you for meditating and practicing mindfulness and practicing connection with this world. Have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you next week.